Aita for not selling my house? My husband, 32M, and I, 32F, have been married for 12 years, together for 14. For 13 years he's been the picture-perfect caring, adoring, attentive husband and father to our 3 kids, all under 12. He was doting, loving, and a great provider, and I stayed at home from the time our second child was born, so 9 years now. He was literally the guy everyone called a friend. The old ladies at church called him when they needed help. He taught Sunday school, people trusted them to babysit their kids, and he was one of the only dads in our friend group that would volunteer to watch everyone's kids if the moms wanted to go out. My friends were jealous of his willingness to always be there and be so involved with the kids without me asking for breaks. He was very much aware they were his children as well, and never complained. Our only marital disputes were what I think were normal things like, hey, you forgot to take out the trash, and maybe the worst being disagreeing on how to discipline the kids, but with them being so young, it wasn't ever big things. He started a business a little over a year ago, and while I was nervous about his ability to manage a business, he's an incredibly hard worker, and I was so proud of him and wanted to support him. I knew he was working his bottom off 12+ hours a day, 6 to 7 days a week. So I didn't really think it was that unusual that he was more distant and easily annoyed over the last year. He was still loving and trying to be a good dad. 6 months ago he literally woke up and left in the middle of the night. Said he hadn't been happy in our marriage for 10 years. Said he couldn't even be in our house. He's lived in his truck since then. Since then not a week has gone by that I don't find out a new lie. He never owned our car. He had sold the same truck to multiple people. He stopped paying our mortgage months ago. He took huge personal loans out. He let the insurance on his business trucks lapse. He stopped paying the guys working for him, and took out so many predatory loans that I started getting calls to my phone from creditors. There have been so many more, and also a very questionable relationship with a woman he met. At the very least an emotional affair, but he insists there is nothing else. I don't really want to get into that though. Long story short, I'm filing for divorce even though I'm heartbroken and feel completely blindsided. Luckily for me, none of this is in my name and the only one affecting me is the mortgage. He's trying to force me to sell our home, lived here for 7 years, 1.3 interest rate, for B2B and a low monthly payment, so he can pay off his debts. Me and the kids would move into my mom's basement, until he can buy us a new home. I'm not naive enough to believe that will happen. But he's turning into a vindictive person I don't even recognize. He took my car under the guise of getting it repaired, and refuses to return it. He won't tell me where it is. It's in his name, as I never had a reason to ever think he was capable of any of this. I gave him my entire life and trusted him with everything for the last 13 years. Anyway, the sudden drastic character change and seemingly departure from reality makes me concerned that it's possibly a mental health crisis, but he refuses to get any help at all. So to protect the kids and I from further consequences of his actions, I have filled out the paperwork and will be filing. I haven't worked in 9 years, and have a special needs child, and a medically fragile child, who have been homeschooled. I am desperately trying to get a job as quickly as possible to save our home. I know I can do it, I'm capable and smart, but it's going to be hard. I know saving the house is going to be in the kids' best interest, and I won't ever find a rental remotely like what we have in my price range. But he keeps telling me things like if you really loved me you would sell the house, or you're making my life really hard, or accusing me of trying to take everything from him, when he left us, and hasn't been restricted access from a house or kids or anything. He also rarely tries to see or contact the kids. Even ignores their messages when they send him message from their kids' messaging apps on their tablets. I still love him and am so concerned for his health and safety, and know my kids have to be number one, but his guilt trips are weighing on me, and I guess I'm just looking for an outside opinion. Am I doing the right thing or should I be selling the house to get him out of trouble? Sorry if this is a little unorganized, it's really hard to write about. I wanted to make sure put enough in to understand the situation, but I don't want the story to be recognized. Thanks for reading. Thank you, but not looking for legal advice. I'm working with a lawyer to make sure I do everything I can to keep myself separate from his decisions.